Hello and welcome, heroes, to the Crit Academy. I am your host, Justin.
And I'm your co-host, Brandon.
And I'm your co-host, Ian.
Sorry, I'm adjusting the sound. This podcast was created to provide you, our heroes, with new and reusable material for both players and DMs.
We hope to inspire you with creative
Something.
content that you can bring with you on your next adventures, which I hope is something.
Our show may not be suitable for young children, but neither is our D&D games.
All right, so moving on to our main topic, Nerzugal's Dungeon Master Toolkit. I'm really excited for this product. It includes a large assortment of dungeons, dungeon maps, puzzles, fully detailed dungeons, random encounters, entire one-shots are in this bad boy. There's tables that are created to help create fun magic items, and most of it is able to be dropped into a campaign with ease. Honestly, I've said it before. I'm lazy, so I love shit like this. All with, what's really cool is that all of the content, especially the dungeons and the one-shots in this toolkit, can provide at least 30 hours of entertainment.
Easily. I mean, I skimmed through this document, and there's tables everywhere. And they provide so many options. Like, they take the tools that is in the DM's handbook and fleshes them out even more.
Yeah, it's amazing, and the product is $9.99 as of this writing or this recording.
I think it's worth it.
For 30 hours of entertainment. I spend $40 when I go down to the movie to watch 2.5 hours, so that's a pretty amazing rate. So I think we'll be ready to get into it then. So first of all, can I just say I love the cover art of this. Is that a dragon turtle? Is that what that is?
That's... if you told me that's what it was, I believe you.
Yeah, it's got this they're in this cave. These adventurers are peeking over like a hill with some crystals, and you see this giant. It looks like I'm gonna say it's a dragon turtle. It definitely looks like one. And it is just a beautiful piece of art. Huh.
It's a tortoise.
Dragon tortoise.
No, I just noticed something, but that's because this was made a while ago. You have to have the Dmsguild logo, and you can't have your own branding on there anymore. But he made this before then, so that's just me derailing for a second. I was like, oh wait.
It's funny too because the party that's looking over the hill, they have that look on of fuck this.
Hey Billy, why don't you go draw its attention so the rest of us can run away?
like right there. The party guy in the far right. It looks like he might have, or is that just a stalactite?
That looks like a spear in his hand.
And they say it looks like he has his weapon drawn, and the person all the way to the left is looking at him like, "What the fuck
Her
are you
body's
doing?"
already like half out the back. Anyways, it's very nice. So the first thing we want to talk about is the random table section is section A in the first set of content. The very first thing you get is random encounters. Now, what I really liked about the random encounters is actually it very much relates to our Let's Talk About Blank segment question, right? Some of them they're very simple. They're not fully fleshed out, but they're designed to give you a guiding point for what to do, right?
They're guidelines.
They're guidelines. I'm trying to figure out what Brandon's doing, but I think he's going to get those big foam dice to throw around. Please don't start no fires. So I picked out a few that I thought were really cool. Some of my favorites were, the thing is, you find an ogre trap. It is a large hole with a sign out in front that reads FUD, food, and points down. See, now to me that's funny. That's entertaining. How would your players react to coming to this? You don't have to put the ogres there, right? Your players come across. There's a sign that says FUD, food, and it points down. So we don't want to go down there. You know what I mean? It's simple. It's good. It's not a combat encounter, but it easily could be, right?
Although, the sad part is I'm now thinking, like, wait, so is a trap set up for ogres or a trap set by ogres?
Well, the fact that they spelled food wrong, I'm going to say set by ogres.
or you could be assuming that ogres suck at reading.
That is certainly a possibility.
Or the barbarian set it up.
Yeah, I don't know. You'd be like, oh, there's food down there. Let's go eat. Somebody set us a picnic. How sweet. What is some of the encounters that jump? Is there an encounter that really jumps out of you, B?
Well, I actually did a random roll, and let's see what it is.
I didn't random. I just read it all. I was like, I like these ones.
Oh, that's why you grabbed the dice.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm going to use it as it was intended. I rolled a 14. There is a wanted criminal with a bounty on their head in the area and are desperate to not get caught.
Okay, so you run into this NPC who really just, if they run into, it's like, I'm just out for a jog today, fellas. Do you know which way is the city? You point and they run the other way. That's a pretty good one and simple and to the point. And once again, and that's one thing I loved about Nerzugal's. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. His encounters is that they're so open that you can choose to go whatever sort of style play you want with them.
Yep.
Do you have one that jumps out at you, Ian?
Let's see here. There were a few that were pretty interesting. Let's see. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Find evidence of a rock's nest nearby. There's 3 eggs inside.
Ooh.
That does not sound like it's awesome until you think about it, because a rock is a really big bird.
Yeah, so that egg must be freaking ginormous. Who's having omelets?
Not to mention, birds can get quite protective of their nests.
But see, that's the beauty of it.
Yep.
You let the players take the eggs, and then they start scrambling them, and then just later, one of these things just swoops down and flies off with somebody. Oh, is that my mic that's burning up that loudness?
Yes.
I've been trying to adjust them all.
I think you're just loud.
you know,
Yeah,
I was
that, I
thinking
am
of the
loud.
the NPC is like, which way's the city? Point that way, they run the other way. Like, why is he running away? Do you really think someone in full plates is going to go on a jog? No, he doesn't want to go to the city.
So there's a bunch of really good stuff. Another one that I found that I thought just was awesome was you find a group of fairies riding squirrels as their mounts. They're hunting pixies.
Oh my god.
I think that's fantastic because I mean this is little stuff that could just be that should be happening every time you're in a big forest, right?
You can watch an entire war in your backyard.
Freaking like all those little fairy gardens, but they're really battles going on. They come out with their little tiny catapults, and they're just spoons that they're jumping on the end and launching stuff.
You see toothpicks flying through the air.
It's a spear.
Oh my god, look at their little arrows.
Oh, it's adorable. So I really like that. Is there another one? We'll pick out a couple more, and then we'll move on.
Ah.
That was the shittiest and most ghetto-ass roll I've ever seen.
I just tossed it up. I got a 20. Fuck you.
You did one of these drop things.
Well, they are little foam things, so they will bounce forever if I actually roll them.
Yeah.
Should I tell him that the table's more than 20?
Huh?
You said you dropped a 20. It's not a D20, though. Never mind.
Yeah.
I don't want to confuse you. Move
You
forward.
know what?
move on.
20 plus the 10. I'll make it 30. Whatever.
I think that's actually how that goes.
Amulet roll. Amulet
you don't think
rolled
so?
from the random item enchantments table lays in the middle of the path. Good and bad attributes.
The 0.
So,
Zero's not 10?
No. Not a D100.
It's not a D100. It's
Yeah, it is.
I'm using percent die.
Right. That
That-
effectively makes it D100.
That's a 10.
So it's 20, right?
No.
It's
What?
200?
I'm sorry. It's 20, yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
That's not what you just said.
Whatever. Fine, I'll just go
No,
home
you're
and buy
fine.
a
You're
D100
fine.
one of these days.
You're fine.
Anyways, I like this one even though I accidentally stumbled upon it.
Oh, yeah, I guess your roll failed you, huh?
Yeah. An amulet rolled from the random item enchantments table lays in the middle of the path. And it says good and bad attributes. So I guess that means you have to find the item table.
Yeah, it's
Roll
what's
for
the
that,
next thing. We'll
And it's like, hey, look, this is laying in the middle of the road.
The
So-
amulet gives you intense superhuman strength,
It's a
but it shrinks your dick.
See, so I'm actually not a fan of magical items just kind of being stumbled across.
Although that means it could be a smaller target.
I think as a DM, I would use. I
My
would
name
use,
is Goliath. Are you sure about that?
Yes. I would use this more as an example of something that somebody laid a trap for adventurers or something. Because I don't give out very many magic items, and why would a powerful artifact just be lying around? You know what I mean? I mean, I guess that's the
Magic.
I was gonna say, I guess that's the whole point of every single dungeon, but at least they were there for a reason. We'll pick 2 more, and then we'll pick 1 more and move on. Is there one that really jumps out at you, Ian?
I'm just going to quote one of the ones you have written down here.
That works.
You find a cockatrice breeder's farm out in the wild, and he has a valuable, prized cockatrice as his pet.
He has a prized cock. That's hilarious. I like
Wait.
this. What?
A cockatrice breeder. Don't these things turn people into stone?
Yeah. He must get a real hard on.
Or he's blind.
Oh, my God.
Oh, that's awesome.
Or he's blind.
Holy
shit.
He fights cockatrices and breeds them for a show.
And-
but everybody he shows fucking turns to stone.
And he thinks they're chickens, but they're not.
So could you imagine if he was a blind guy? And he's like, "Would you like to see my prize cockatrice?" Sure. Hello? Hello?
Sure, I'd love
Why
to.
do they always leave? You could show up and there's like 1,000 statues in his yard. Because every player would automatically assume what?
That this guy's insane and evil.
Or there's a Medusa around is kind of what I thought. If you come up to an area of stone statues that look like people in awkward positions.
Oh, great. Now I'm thinking about that one webcomic where some adventures are just saying, and Medusas are actually, hey, my eyes are up here. And then I'm like, I think there's a missed opportunity where he did not put in the word balloon. Nice try.
Look, Bob, look at the giant chicken.
So this is a huge D100 table of all kinds of cool encounters like this. The next, I can close that. The next random table that they got a D100 of is the random item enchantments. Now they break it down into lesser, medium, and major, as well. I think actually legendary too. Is that right?
Enchantment?
Yeah. But they break it down to they segment the beneficial ones as well as the negative effects. So one of the ones that really jumped out at me as far as the lesser effects, while you are attuned to this item, whenever you make an athletics check, you roll an additional d4 and add the value to your result. I like this because it's a good way to introduce magical items to your players at lower levels that benefit them mostly in skill checks, not so much in combat. There's different there's enchantments for these for each of the different skill classifications. So I really like stuff like this because you can give out little tiny buffs that aren't going to be super game changers, but the players will regularly see the benefits of. Right?
Aha.
Is there one that you like there, B? For the lesser area, we'll just do like 3 of the lessers. We'll each pick one.
Let's see, 39. While attuned to this item, you can cast Dancing Lights at will. Dancing Lights as a cantrip.
Okay, so this one gives you access to a cantrip. That's to me, that's actually probably not a lesser feature. I would consider that a little stronger, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Which cantrip?
Dancing Lights.
That's actually not.
That's not a huge thing.
No, but giving a cantrip to somebody is a big deal. I think that's just my opinion.
Well, not in this case, because essentially it's this is giving you an immobile torch.
4 mobile torches, but yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's a very passive spell, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Ian, is there one that you think is interesting?
Well, one I randomly read that actually seemed pretty decent was where'd you go? Whatever. While attuned to this item, you can breathe underwater for up to 5 minutes a day. Get your inner Aquaman on.
That's nice, yeah, for 5 minutes, because that's about all you'd be useful for.
No, you
So
can't
if
talk to fish.
So if you train yourself to hold your breath for 5 minutes and then use it, you're probably fucked, because if you swam deeper than that, then you're screwed, because you're not going to get to the surface fast enough.
So that's a really I like that one because it's very, very situational.
Yeah.
That really is exciting. The last one I want to talk about in the lesser category is while attuned to this item, you have resistance to force damage. That's a big deal to me. And a small mana worm follows you around.
Warlocks will hate you so much.
So for some reason,
The fuck's a mana worm?
I assume it's a flying worm of magic. I think, right? Do you know what a mana worm is? I've seen them in WoW. They're little floating magical creatures. But anyways, so I like this one because it gives me a very combat feature, but also gives me flavor I can attach to it. So maybe that force damage is the mana worm is eating part of the attack, right? As it's smashing into you or absorbing it, which I think is pretty cool. So once again, we'll touch on a couple of these other enchantments. The medium enchantments get a little more buff, so to say. One that really I thought was interesting to me was While attuned to this item, when an enemy misses you while you're dodging, you can use your reaction to make an attack with advantage.
Neat.
I like that because this essentially gives you a counter attack,
Oh,
which I think is which is interesting because I can't think of any off the top of my head, but I'm sure there's some features that benefit from dodging, but that's not an action that gets nearly as much use as it should. And shame on you players for not using it and just charging in.
dodge!
But I think it's a really cool little, very beneficial situational feature, which is fantastic, especially if you give it to a tank. Brandon, what do you got?
I rolled a 100, and it says reroll on this table twice, ignoring this result. So I'll just choose to do it random.
Well, you don't choose two, just choose one.
How about 19? This item has 5 charges. You may expend one of these charges to leap 20 feet in any direction and attack with a deadly strike. Roll using your primary attack with a deadly... What the fuck? Roll using your primary stat plus your proficiency mod. On a hit, deal your level times d6 damage to that target. On a critical hit, all enemies within 15 feet must make a DC 15 Constitution saving throw or be knocked back 15 feet and fall prone.
Suckers.
That's
Damn.
dope.
This item restores 1d4 plus 1 charges at dawn.
What number is that?
19.
On what, the medium or major?
That's
I think you rolled a...
on the major scale.
I was going to say, that sounds like a major benefit.
That sounds
Whoop,
like...
shit.
Well, I guess, well, it's okay. So now I'm moving into major. So that's a pretty potent one. Now you've got a magic item that has powerful charges. What I think I would have liked to see better is instead of classification as major, like some sort of gauge to show what category it puts that magic item in. You know what I mean? I didn't see it in the book, but maybe I just missed it.
Like a rating scale of 1 to 10.
No, is
10 being
major
most
a
badass.
rare, or is major a rare magic item on its own? Do 2 mediums equal a rare item? Is a major a very rare item? You know what I mean? So you kind of really have to judge that as you go. I do like the one that you read on with the leaping. It's basically a charging attack, which I think is pretty cool.
It's a Dragoon leap.
Yeah. The fact that it's any direction is pretty fancy because that gives you a standing jump straight up, basically, which means fuck flying creatures. Ian, is there a major one that jumps out at you that you think is really cool?
There's actually quite a few major ones that kind of stand out that are kind of awesome because they give some really good abilities.
Well, why don't you pick one and tell us about it?
Alrighty. Well, attuned to this item, you gain a +1 bonus to all saving throws in which you are not proficient.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Because you're not proficient in most of them.
No.
So now you become proficient in all of them, right? Is that what that? Did I read that right?
No, you get +1.
Oh, you get +1. You just get a small bonus. That's fantastic.
Ooh, get up to the paladin.
Man, the paladin doesn't need anything else. That's his weakness. I'd be like, oh, you see this really awesome item? I'm gonna give it to the rogue. The paladin and the rogue will start fighting. Ah, I love being that guy. That's a really cool one. How do you see that working flavor-wise? Like a radiating aura, maybe, or something? That kind of protects them. That's cool. One that really jumped out at me, and for a lot of different reasons, but this item has 9 charges. You may use 1 charge to cast Frost Blast. Have you guys ever heard of Frost Blast?
I heard of it, don't know what it does.
You haven't heard. I don't know if you've heard of it, because it's actually Burning Hands, but cold,
Ah.
with a DC of 15. Or you can use 3 charges to cast Sleep Storm, and some others to cast Cone of Cold. Now,
That's probably what I'm thinking of.
Frost Hands is pretty much a low-level or Frost Blast is pretty much a low-level Cone of Cold, which I think is fantastic. This is an item that alters, it basically changes a very common spell and makes it different. And that's something I don't think you see a lot of.
Nope.
Because there's a lot of players that say, well, I want to use a spell, but I'd like to use it as a different element to go with the theme. This is actually a magical item that does that effect, which I think is fantastic. So in kind of looking at these really quick, I don't want to spend too much more time on the random tables, but there is a lot of content. Each one of these tables is a D100. We talked a lot about the beneficial effects. Why don't we each pick one? They do have legendary effects, by the way. I'm not going to get into that table because those are really big paragraphs, but they definitely come with some huge benefits and legendary. So that's really cool. But what interests me is the negative effects, the detrimental effects. Ian, of all the different ones, does any one particularly jump out at you?
Yeah, let's scroll down. Yeah, we got lesser detrimental effects. Sa- Same scale as before, really. And obviously there is a lot. When attuned to this item, you are occasionally struck by powerful needs to itch locations that you cannot reach.
Gotta give this to a halfling. I have an urge to reach up into that cover, but I cannot reach. Or maybe a little more, I need to climb the top of that building because I cannot reach it.
I think I meant body parts.
Ooh, that's even better. That is way cooler. Oh, you said itch, didn't you?
Yeah.
I thought you said reach.
No.
Oh, okay, that makes more
Oh,
sense.
what are you doing? My gooch itches, but I can't get to it.
It's a fucking Goliath with like T-Rex hands.
What are you looking at? I was born this way.
Tate says alligator arms.
Gator.
One that
And they're all like this. And
One that really jumps out me as a lesser effect that says, while attuned to this item, you no longer trust clerics and always assume they're lying to you. This does not apply to your party members. I don't know. I would like it to apply to my party members. What you lying about, Phyllis? I think that's really cool because it directly affects how your character will interact with other people, and that's always a plus. Like right now, the adventure I've been running for our patrons is heavily based on racial tension. And they're really getting that where I'm enjoying constantly insulting them. Like, I'm not even joking. One of the captors hates him so much, was pissing in their water before giving it to him.
Hey, his living water's warm.
the cleric introduces you to his long love, who is also from the same temple. You're like, oh, good to meet you. Lean into his ear. She's stealing from you.
B, is there one that jumps out at you from any of the categories?
From the lesser detrimental, I saw here on number 10. While attuned to this item, you somehow manage to burn any food you try to cook.
That's like me. Does it say what shape that item takes? Because I think there's one in my house. So this is really cool because this is pure RP, and I love pure RP. Like, yeah, don't let Brandon cook because he's going to burn that boar, and it looks delicious. All right, so moving on from the magical effects, there are a lot of these. I mean, I'm on page like 30, and I'm not done yet.
No.
There we go, page 30. 31. So the next thing that they do is they have a huge collection of puzzles. I think there's like 10 very detailed puzzles in here. They come with setup, they come with pictures, they come with tables. They even have examples, and some even come with extra explanation. Now, maybe he had the foresight to think about this, but I assume maybe somebody asked questions, and so he added those in there. I could be mistaken. Now, we're not going to go into a lot of details in these, but mostly because we've picked one for our encounter of the podcast. But I wouldn't mind one of you. Do you want to pick one of these? Well, they're very detailed, so do you want to pick one of these and just describe the name in the description, Brandon? One that sounds interesting and not the one that's actually in our encounter.
Which is their encounter.
The Cards of Fate.
Okay, I'll do the bucket conundrum.
Why don't you tell us about that?
This puzzle is very long and descriptive in nature, and is less rigid in its solution than some of the others in this book. Your players will have to find a way to fill 5 buckets hanging in the center of the room with the correct items, or face the consequences. Your phrasing and player attention is quite important for this one. So speak clearly and make sure everyone is engaged, or you may end up with players being lost and frustrated. You will likely need to repeat descriptions, so be ready.
So we've gone through this discussion before. I don't know if you guys recall, where there's a really fine line in puzzles where you are relying on the player knowledge to solve a puzzle versus character knowledge.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any thoughts on that? Which is the best way? I don't know if you guys were part of those conversations. I don't remember, but
I don't recall that conversation at all.
Okay, well, what are your thoughts on that? Do you think some puzzles are okay to test player knowledge versus character knowledge, or do you think it should always be character knowledge because I'm a genius wizard, but I'm a stupid human?
Either way is fine, really. Just be sure to. I usually prefer both, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
If the players themselves can puzzle it out, awesome. But if they're, well, idiots, don't be afraid. Just let them roll for it.
Yeah, and I think I've discussed that before, that if your players are getting frustrated, then turn to letting the character rolls give them hints,
Oh yeah.
because you don't want the game to stall out to where they're not having fun, because that won't be interesting or engaging for anyone.
Yeah,
So,
I kind of had that happen with me. I was running a game for Troy, Anthony, and Amber. It was an encounter that I had built. And there was a puzzle in this room, and a stone slab appeared, and it was a chessboard.
okay.
And magic words appeared floating above it that said, "Beat me in beat me in 2 or less moves." And it was the easiest checkmate you can imagine in chess.
Like the opening one?
No, the board was clear. You had a king, they had a king and a pawn, and you had 2 rooks.
Ah!
Ah.
And it was a super easy checkmate. And Troy says, "I want to do an intelligence roll." I went, okay. So he gave me a roll. I went, "Well, you did it. You didn't have to do the puzzle."
You got it in a single roll?
Yeah.
But, well, you don't say that you didn't have to do the puzzle. You just describe the results. Maybe that was part of
I
the
didn't say
failure.
that, but I was like,
You're-
"Yeah, you did it."
See, I would say, I think in that, and I think a lot of people do that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but I think you could easily say, oh, yes, you realize that you need to slide these parts into position this way, and it locks this enemy in this way, and allows them not to escape putting them in checkmate, or whatever condition is part of the puzzle, because that's a pretty common thing I think that happens to people when they're doing puzzles is, oh, you rolled the dice, you solved it, okay, move on. When in reality, you should be describing how they crank on the gears in the big circular, stone fixtures start rotating and twisting and scraping against each other and all that stuff, because while, yeah, you're right, he solved it with a dice roll, you still need to narrate what they actually did, because otherwise puzzles are never going to be that exciting when dice rolls are involved. That's just my opinion, though. Moving on. I just realized I forgot a monster variant, so I got to toss one in there. So I'm going to turn over the lead to this next talking point, if I can find my stupid... Nope.
The bucket conundrum?
Yeah. No. After we did the puzzles, we moved to the one-shots.
Yep.
But I'm having trouble finding my
Shots.
dungeon.
Shots.
Because all my there it goes. It's on the fucking first page. So there's 10 of these bad boys. We're gonna go into real good detail on the on one of them because I think it's great, and you should see how fleshed out these are. Because these are far more thought-provoking than anything I've ever done. I usually just print off shit or just hey, let the dice decide. But I think it's pretty cool.
The gods of fate.
What's really cool is they got one-shots in here. Now, these are very fleshed out and very interesting one-shots. And some of them are pretty interesting. One that really jumped out at me is the Cult of the Golgoroth, which is a levels 4 to 7. The second Halloween special. Within the muck and darkness of a cave, deep within the forest lies an ancient creature, a manifestation of evil and psychosis that cause even devils and demons to turn a blind eye. This monstrosity is known as the Golgoroth. Rumors say it is just sockets. Rumors say it has just sockets where there should be eyes, yet it sees everything in this world and in others. It pierces the veil of the mind and inflicts madness, there it is, on all who come near it. Of course, these are surely just rumors. Surely just an excuse to justify the actions of a twisted cult that is ravaging local villages. Surely just a manifestation of their crazed minds as they carve their own bones into weapons and slice their own flesh to ribbons,
Ugh.
all in the name of the Golgoroth. do you guys think of that?
That's just not right.
Does that sound awesome or what?
It sounds horrifying.
Well, and that's the point, right? This was, and they're all very well fleshed out. This one was cool because I love madness. I love the fact that these people damage their body. You guys ever read the Aragon series?
I don't read.
Have you ever read the Aragon series, Ian?
Yeah.
In the book, you have that cult that worships the Razak, and they cut off their limbs and shit like that.
Yeah, they are really hardcore in the self-mutilation.
Yeah, that's kind of what this reminded me of. In reading through these, it's so well done. What I think is really cool, and I've been seeing this more and more by the really great writers, it actually includes like a scaling system that allows you to easily adjust the encounters up and down a few levels, which I think is fantastic. We'll move on to after the one-shots. You said you read through the book. Did you read some of the one-shots?
I skimmed.
What did you think of the structure? The layout seems pretty nice to me.
Yeah, and I think it does enough like a basis for you to go off of to,
Right.
like you're saying, quickly run an adventure.
Yeah, and that's the reason I think this is cool is because you literally can say, hey, what are you doing? Nothing. Let's play D&D, and flop this open and run right out of it. It's very well laid out. A lot like, in my opinion, it's laid out very similar to like Jeff's encounter of the Jeff Stevens encounters. Whether it's the Savage Seas, which he sent us a copy of the Savage Seas. Oh my God, it's amazing. I cannot wait to finish reading it. I only started reading some of the encounters. It's fantastic. That guy and the people he hires are genius.
What'd you do with the drunken sailor? What'd you do?
Fucking throw him over.
No.
Yeah,
That's not how it goes.
that's how I say it.
Oh, there's a picture of the Golgoroth.
You're just not.
Or is that?
That's not the Golgoroth.
Oh,
Yeah,
my players killed the frog.
yeah, no, it's a frog with
that's
like
just
tentacles
just
on
a
its
frog.
back, which is dope.
Yes,
Uh,
I saw the thing at the bottom. Cabin
God,
of
there's
the
so much
Golgoroth.
shit on here. I still haven't scrolled through it.
It's 114 pages, by the way.
Yeah, it's a huge book.
Yeah.
All right, so
Oh, there's
Hence
stat,
why I skimmed.
stat blocks.
you reading through this would take a long time, more time than
No,
we
stat
have.
blocks for the Golgoroth.
The only thing I have to really give a little bit of point to is the maps. They look like a 10-year-old in school drew them. And Nerzugal, I am sorry if you are 10, but that's what it looks like. It's definitely not the best maps I've seen. But that could be just a budget thing, right? That's one thing that we struggled with is staying in budget, you know?
But I think it gives you a solid idea, though. Of what,
Oh, yeah, definitely. That's really all that matters, right?
Yeah.
Let's say you could probably draw these exactly on your little tabletop maps. So
Yeah,
Man, that's what they're going
yeah,
for.
I like maps like this because it shows you what the room looks like that you're in. You understand the layout, but then your imagination fills the room.
yeah, I can see that. So the next thing I want to talk about is complete dungeons. Now, while the one-shots are just encompass little stories, if you want a grander adventure in a dungeon crawl format, they give you an entire set of completed dungeons, which are much longer than the simple one-shots that you can play through in a single night. Ian, on those descriptions there, is there anyone that jumps out at you and you want to read the description on it?
Oh, I'll just try to take hand.
Brandon,
Yes.
you want to read you want to read one of those completed dungeons for one that jumps out at you? One of the little descriptions there, kind of give the Crit Nation a little taste of what's in there. I like that. That's funny.
I'm going to go with the Tinker's Laboratory because that sounds awesome. It is a level 4 through 6. Is what's based for. A dwarven laboratory forgotten for many centuries has finally been rediscovered, but there is sure to be danger lurking within. It turns out some of the other machines within are still active, as are some of the traps and puzzles. Prepare your party for a blend of challenging puzzles and diverse fights in the dungeon that was home of the first player kill.
Ooh.
No, home of my first player kill.
Yeah, that's his experience.
Nice.
Wow. I killed my first player here. I'm going to sell it.
What did you think about that, Ian?
Well, if he kills first player there, hey, this dungeon works.
This dungeon works.
Success. That's funny. So after you get through the one-page adventures and the encounters, there's a lot more great stuff in here. Like I said, the maps and dungeons, there's so much you can do. The encounters, the random rolls, everything is so well thought out. It really gives a lot of value to any Dungeon Master's collection. Overall, what are your guys' thoughts of this product?
I think for people who like to game and even DM but don't have much prep time, this is a good supplement to speed things along.
Absolutely.
I'll say, I think if you don't have a campaign in mind, or if you don't have the book or anything, or how much is this product?
$9.99.
$9.99. You can get a campaign for like $40, or you can have 30+ hours of fun teaching your new players what the game's all about.
And it's great
Using
when
this book.
Yeah, it's great when you're just sitting around trying to world build. Like, oh man, they just did this really cool thing, and I want to give them a random magic item. Boom, there's an effect on it. Roll on the lesser table, and
Boom,
you find a
there it
ring.
is.
You find a ring that gives you the dancing lights cantrip.
I mean, I like the idea that you're having a little get together and you're all playing Cards Against Humanity. Well, guess what? Everyone started drinking and no one can drive. So hey, let's play some D&D. I got a book. There it is. Let's go.
That's funny. Well, very cool. I think that'll do it for our main topic. Remember, this is an adamantine bestseller, which means many, many, many people have bought it. And it's got a 5-star review, 4.5. Let me double check. Anybody got that shit open?
Good numbers.
I do not.
Let me scroll
Yeah, you
up.
also said that it has the Dmsguild old logo on it, and they stopped doing that at some point.
Also, there's a print on demand for this book. That's how awesome it is, right? It's got 4.5 stars and 192 ratings.
That's how long
Damn.
ago it was put up. Back when they still did
Well,
print on demand.
Well, no, they do. They do it now. They just reinstated it. We have to
good.
See if we can work on that. I'm trying to keep my ear to the floor. Anyways, so that'll do it. What?
I was amazed how limiting they made that. It's like, what's the point of having print on demand if I can't print what I want?
Well, I think it mostly has to do with their manpower. That goes behind it. I think they're a small crew of like.
Doesn't change
5
my
people.
statement.
Well, you gotta have people to do stuff like that. So I think I understand. We could, if we would have released on Open Bookshelf, we had been able to release it already. But one of the trade-offs I did is I got access to a bunch of art that I couldn't do before. So, and I didn't have money for art, so that was a big selling point for me. Anyways, that'll do it for our main topic today. We'll have a link on our show notes, so make sure you check it out. Before we move on to our Unearthed Tips and Tricks segment, we have another gift to give away, compliments of Loresmith. I don't hear nothing. Why don't I hear nothing? Oh,
Because
know
you
what?
turned it down.
Yeah, motherfucker, shut up. I figured it out. We'll turn it all the way up.
Each episode, we will draw another lucky subscriber's name, and they will win the best-selling adventure, The Claws of Madness, Compliments of Loresmith. Loresmith is a small indie team of creative artists who remember exploring the realms together with friends, finding incredible places, and meeting colorful characters along the way. They set out to deliver an experience that sparks those lasting impressions that pushed them to create their first standalone adventure, The Claws of Madness. This best-selling adventure is one that you don't want to miss.
Ian, who's our winner today?
Our winner today is Mike McGregor Jr.
Congratulations. If you enjoy the adventure, please leave Loresmith a review. Tell him what you thought of the product. Tell him Crit Academy sent you. So moving on to our final segment, our Unearthed Tips and Tricks segment. We bring you new and creative content for you to bring with you on your next adventure. Brandon, why don't you tell us about all that comes with the character concept, or with the why don't you tell us what is in our final segment, our UTTs? What exactly are they?
Awesome.
I'll take it.
That's what they are. You get character concepts, you get encounters, you get a monster variant, you get a magic item, you get a DM tip and a player tip. I think that's it.
I think that sounded right. Encounter, yeah, you nailed it. I think.
Yeah, there you go. Six things.
Lots of fat loots, man. Lots of great ideas for your adventure. We get so many emails, man, and I keep saying I'm going to do a mailbag episode. I think we're going to do one as one of our live episodes.
Why not?
But I think that might even be our second live episode.
Do it.
Because every time I read these, I just got another one yesterday. I was like, these guys are awesome. If you're sending that stuff to us, you guys are awesome. Thank you. It really means a lot to us, especially when you talk about how you integrated stuff from our show into your game. So that's really cool.
You know what we should do too?
What should we do too?
What we should do too is we've gotten so many emails and messages on Facebook from you guys saying, "Oh, you guys are awesome! Thank you. Keep up the good work. I love watching it. I've been watching your show for the last 4 weeks and I'm loving it." Type of thing.
I feel like the one that you shared about how
You got to be more specific than
When,
how.
About how?
how one guy got in trouble with HR because of our show.
Oh yeah, he was. Yeah, he was. Our show got to the player tip, and he said, "Don't be a dick out loud."
with us because he's listening to each on headphones at work.
And there was nobody around, or there was a bunch of people around, so they all just kind of looked at him.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's funny.
Yeah, he got
Brandon,
in trouble. But
go ahead.
the idea is that we're probably not gonna be able to get to all of the messages from the mailbag, and I think that of the random ones that we choose and that we say on the air, 1 or 2 of those people should win a big prize from us.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Big brush.
Not sure what, but
well, way to think it through there, buddy. But I think that's a good idea.
Yeah,
If you
say,
mail it, send it to a message so we don't forget, and we can add that to the list.
I mean, it could be simple as art when I can actually get that time,
Yeah, we're not.
Or-
we're not gonna do that.
or free copy of the book, or something.
You're-
or if we had the money, we can get you a tapestry, but that's probably not going to happen.
I barely had enough money for a tapestry
Yeah,
for us.
yeah,
Are you
exactly.
nuts? Maybe when we got like I'll tell you what. I'll make a deal. How's this? If we can reach 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, I will give away a tapestry to a random subscriber.
Tapestry.
If we can hit 1,000 subscribers, let's say what is May, June. If we can hit 1,000 subscribers before the end of July, the end of summer, my birthday, July 29th,
You fucking eagle bitch.
I will give away a tapestry just like the one in this background here.
Tapestries.
When this episode airs, I will take a picture of this and post it so you guys can see it. Or, as of this recording, our show is live. Well, our show should be going live, so you'll see it in the background.
Tate says, "How about a small flag?"
That would certainly be a lot cheaper. This thing wasn't cheap.
That's what I should do. I should design a Crit Nation flag because it's a nation.
Oh, dude, that is dope. Can you finish doing the shit I asked of you first?
No.
Strung by
Literally, okay. I'm going to go on a tangent real quick. So I've been asking Brandon to do a very simple task for me. I want you to take our UTT image with Bourbon Toe and Whitaker on the front and cut it out in an oval shape. And that's it. So I can put it on a shirt. I've been asking that for a month. I finally had to hire somebody to do it because he hasn't done it yet. Actually, it's been more than a month. It's been 2 months.
Wait.
Yeah,
You
he didn't know. I just blew it.
You hired someone.
Yeah, well, I asked you
To-
for fucking
to
2
cut-
months
to
to cut
cut
a
an-
circle
to
out.
cut
I
an
couldn't do
oval out.
it. Yeah, I did.
Ian, do you have experience with Photoshop?
Yeah.
Well, then why didn't you say anything?
Do you have any idea how half asleep I am all the time? I didn't even think that bad.
Okay, so here's the real question. Now that I've talked to Jesse and I'm getting more time after work and stuff to be able to get on my PC, which is all set up and everything.
Nice.
Tablets out. Yeah, I cleaned out that whole corner and I got my little cave right there. How much of our art needs to have those ovals?
The more I picked the oval because it was a simple shape and I thought you would do it in a day, okay? I'm going to be honest. I just need something that looks nice on a shirt. Right now, it's a fucking box. Do you know how stupid a box of art looks like? It's terribly ugly.
Unless you buy a print.
Well, okay. If it's in a print, it looks fantastic.
Checkmate.
No, that's more like check, and then I just threw my queen at you, fucker. Anyways, so Yeah. So yeah, you derailed the whole goddamn thing.
Don't care. I got it.
Motherfucker. I need you to take the encounter or the character concept, Brandon. 'Cause
Okay.
I'm trying to.
I'll make the character concept because you forgot the monster.
Yeah. Well, I actually had an idea already. I just never wrote it, so now I'm.
Character
filling it in.
concept. Patchwork. Is this by anyone?
Yep.
No.
Oh, this is one of your babies.
Yeah, I posted it on the group thing a while ago.
This character's power comes from gathering body parts with power and using them in an ancient ritual of their ancestors to fuse them together with their own body. Wow. Replacing your eyes with that of a deep gnome to give yourself dark vision, arms of a werewolf for climbing or claw attacks, or maybe attaching small kraken or displacer beast tentacles to your body for slamming and grappling. This character can be a lot of fun and full of flavor. It works best with the Simic race from the Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica, as they already get some special features as they level up. Now, yeah, they're the race that already does stuff like this, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Just treat your character from a flavor perspective as a human, and your acquired powers are the result of your rituals after defeating enemies whose body parts you've collected. This can also be great flavor for additional features unlocked by your class, or feats acquired.
Okay, so I really like this idea.
It's Frankenstein.
Yeah, so it's Frankenstein's monster, right? It's a combination of different things. One of our followers on Twitter, let's see if I can find his name, because I want to give him a shout out, because this actually was a character concept or monster in older editions apparently, and I didn't know that. I'm just kind of learning it as I go, I guess. So let me find the original art here, which is right here. We go. Or not. I don't see the actual fucking comment. Where's the comment?
Why was Frankenstein's monster always mad?
Why?
Because his pelvis was Asian.
What?
He has a small wiener.
Oh, that's very.
Yeah, cut that out so we don't get hate mail.
Yeah, well, you know. He's like, I said ancient. What's wrong with you? Anyways, I can't find the post, but anyways, so I really like this concept. The reason it's really cool is, first thing, some DMs that actually saw this, some people complained that, oh, that would make them overpowered, blah blah blah. Not if you reflavored it. I want to give a great example. The symbiote that we made, the flavor of the month symbiote, I reflavored a warhammer as a blunt tentacle and a rapier as a piercing one.
I am amazed how many people complained about that one.
Yeah, oh, your shit's unbalanced. It's fucking right out of the player's handbook, dickwad.
You literally just multi-class fighter and barbarian together.
Yeah.
That was it.
That was it. But so with this concept, you're doing something similar where you're taking something and describing it as an effect that you acquired from a monster. For instance, let's say you're a wizard and you acquire the ability fly, or you've got some sort of racial or something. If you know this is the character concept you're going with, you can talk to your DM, and your DM might, let's say, have you encounter something with wings like an incubus or a succubus. So what you do is you cut off their wings and sew them onto yourself, and basically, they struggle to work, so they only work after resting for so long, and you just reflavor the fly spell. Right? It's basically a spell you have, and you just are saying you're attaching these wings to yourself. Or what about you encounter a shambling mound, and you start ripping part of its long appendages off, like maybe its arm or something, and you start treating it as its arm as an attachment of your body, and it's just the thorn whip spell, right? Where this long, spindly, shambling mound's arm, you reach out with it and pull your enemy towards you, right?
I'm thinking about that seaweed monster from that one was the One Punch Man.
Oh, yeah, when you said seaweed monster, I was thinking of Avatar. Do you guys remember that one with the naked southerners that are talking all wild like this, and they're all using water, bending in the vines, and slapping people around like little bitches?
Well, I'm just communing here with nature.
I think it'd be funny. Is if you kill a creature with flying, and you go to take their wings, to attach them to yourself, but one of the wings is destroyed. So you put one on you, and from that point forward until you find another wing, you can only fly in one direction.
Or you do one of those constant right turns, so you have to spin right every time to go left. You do like a whole rotation. What was that in? There was a show where a guy had to always turn right. Oh, Zoolander, where he always has to turn right to go the other way. The last thing I want to touch on is other things you could do, such as like if you slay a giant choll or some other creature with a heavy carapace, you could take the armored feats and get access to heavier armor and just treat it as you've just attached this shell body to yourself. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of good stuff you can do with this. I love this this build. Obviously, the inspiration was the Simic because I love that it gets little features. So you could pick the Simic race and then enhance it with these other flavors, right? Ian, I know you had a lot of comments on this. Do you want to talk a little bit about that? No?
No, I'm good.
For a guy developing an entire archetype around this, I thought you would want to say something.
Oh, that's what you meant.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was going. It's like, you had a lot of thoughts on this, so much so that you actually started writing some shit down. Do you want to talk about it? No. Whatever, we'll move on. God damn it. All right, so.
Yeah, I might be trying to put something together.
Yeah, and I'm really excited because he actually wrote some shit. Which is more than Brandon's done.
Oh. But he's drawn way more than I have.
Ian,
That's true.
Ian, do you have a baby?
No.
Yeah, shut up, Justin.
He does have a baby. Have you not watched him play Overwatch? It might as well be his baby. All right, so that'll do it for our character concept, the
Tracy's
patchwork.
Crying. She needs the blood of enemies. I gotta go feed her.
Our monster variant of the day is the Withering Zombie. We give it the Withering Touch. When the zombie successfully hits a creature, that creature must make a con save of 12. On a failed save, their flesh is pulled tight against their skeleton, making their visage terrifying to most. That character has disadvantage on charisma ability checks and charisma saving throws until it is removed with the remove curse effect.
Oops.
So it's not going to at all increase the output or combat effectiveness of the zombie, but holy shit, is it going to be weird when your players return back to town.
Yeah. Crap, it's a zombie! No, guys, this is not a zombie. It's a meth addict.
Did you guys ever see Beetlejuice? The one monster grabs the top of his hair and pulls his skin back, and it pulls back his eyes and his teeth and everything. It looks horrendous. That's kind of what I reminded with. That's kind of what this reminds me of. I think it's really cool because it's a feature in combat that affects out of combat. I mean, how is Brandon? How do you think an NPC who's being rescued by somebody whose skin is pulled so tight it looks like their teeth are like Uncle Ed's mouth hanging out, and their eyeballs are pulled so tight back, and their nose is nearly flattened up. You can see their brain.
I would think that he's on something.
Yeah, and you probably wouldn't want him to rescue, I would think. Another monster, run away. I like this because it's a pure flavor thing as far as combat, but the disability on charisma checks is awesome because if you hit the bard or the sorcerer with this shit, it would just be so satisfying, I think.
Makes me think of in the comic, dude, that is a great Freddy Krueger cosplay. Dude, that's Deadpool. That's what he looks like. Oh, sorry.
Your face looks like a ugly avocado had sex with a bigger, older, uglier avocado.
He looks like if Freddy Krueger had sex with a topographical map.
That'll do it for our monster variant, the Withering Zombie.
I survived the bubonic plague, and I had a lot of fun with that. And I've seen The Exorcist 167 times. It's funnier every single time I see it.
Our encounter of the podcast comes from Nerzugal's Dungeon Master Toolkit. It is one of the puzzles called the Cards of Fate. I absolutely loved this encounter. So I probably should have actually went to it beforehand. And I did. Look at that. I was fucking thinking ahead.
Or you also there by accident.
That's very possible too. This is not a puzzle as much as a fun mini game, and I love fun mini games. So it is primarily intended for one-shot adventures. There is no skill involved, and failure happens more often than success. But still, it is a fun way to let your players press their luck at the draw of a card. I love stuff like this. So the setup's pretty simple. A strange, smiling man is waiting in a room with 9 cards lying face up in front of him. This man is actually an Ifriti, simply looking for some entertainment. That's fun. So this is already really cool because you're interacting with an otherworldly creature, right? Like a creature from the fire plane, right? Is that right? Or is that a D-Genie? That's a D-Jin, right?
A Jin.
A Jin, sorry. I say D-Genie, but that's actually the specific Jin, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But anyways, so the cards show the following: wealth, power, divinity, luck, and the Reaper. There are 2 of each cards except the Reaper, of which there is only 1. Now, here are the rules of the game, which I think are pretty well laid out and simple. So the Ifriti offers to the player the opportunity to play the game. Here are the rules. All cards are turned face down and scattered onto the table. The player will choose 2 cards and reveal them simultaneously. If the 2 cards revealed match, the player wins the corresponding prize. Loot boxes, anybody? Loot crate?
Oh, God.
If the 2 cards revealed do not match, remove them and continue to the next pick. If either of the cards revealed is the Reaper, the player loses.
What? A key to a loot box that I have to pay for? What the crap, man?
If all the cards are picked up without revealing a pair and without revealing the Reaper, the player wins a grand prize. Now,
Epic skin.
so that's funny.
Oh my God, microtransactions in your D&D game.
Yeah, we talked about that, right?
Yeah,
that was
we
a
did,
character concept, right? Or like a DM tip or something, right?
What didn't they get initials from EA?
Yeah, that means something. What did it? The
EA Sports.
yeah, what was the? You guys made the name. The name was his name was short. It was EA, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I remember that. We were cracking up way too long for that. So first of all, what do you guys think of this game? The way this sounds.
There's always one idiot that's gonna try his luck.
Well, and it depends on to draw the characters in, you would really need some enticing rewards, right?
Yep.
So I guess that really would determine whether it's something they want to engage in, you know.
Grand prize, like a many things.
You know, so of course, as the DM, the prizes are up to you, but remember, it's more likely you'll lose than win. So the players are pressing their luck if they partake. So what's really cool is, you know, they gotta pay a price, right? So the price could simply be in the form of money, or something more sinister, such as a favor owed to the Ifriti, which I think is fantastic.
You fail, he has friends on the other side.
What I like about this is it's simple and anybody can do it, and it really fills in those random events. If you want something interesting to happen in a tavern or in a street corner or in a random dungeon, I mean, how spooky would it be to have this Ifriti fire elemental just sitting in the middle of a room waiting for you?
Hello, stranger.
And then showing off his fat loot. What I do think is really cool, I'm reading this, and the creators talk about representing the game. Shit, what is his name?
You're walking through a dungeon and you see a guy, he's got pale white face, and he's got 2 red swirlies on his cheeks, and he goes, I'd like to play a game.
I was actually picturing Keith Davis' character from The Princess and the Frog.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I can see that. So Stephen Williams, the creator of this, also represented how he did the cards of Fate, and I think it's fantastic. He used Magic the Gathering cards. The swamp was the Reaper, the mountain was the power, the plains was divinity, the island is wealth, and the forest was luck. If you have playing cards, he gives you some choices for that too, which is pretty cool. But all in all, I think this is a nice encounter. I think it could be really cool. So in the inter-party, in one of the episodes in Inter-Party Conflict, they talked about the 5-room dungeon, and I think in that episode, they also talked about having an additional effect that isn't necessarily needed to complete a dungeon, right? So there's this thing that can happen. The players can take part, but it's not really relative to the story. This would be a good one of those things. They can choose to be involved. They can choose not to be involved. It's up to them. So.
Wait, so you've just been sitting in this random room in this dungeon for how many years? It's been lonely, okay.
Finally, somebody to play with. That'll do it for our encounter of the podcast, the Cards of Fate from Nerzugal's Dungeon Master Toolkit.
Wait a second, if you're staying in this room, how we can got food or use the bathroom? You don't want to know.
Brandon, would you like to tell about us our magic item? Now, you don't have to read all of these. We're going to just pick one or two, okay?
The magic item? Yes. Our magic item for this week is the Wand of Tricks and Treats from Nerzugal's Dungeon Master's Toolkit. It is a wondrous item and is uncommon. This wand has 5 charges. While holding it, you can use an action to expend 1 charge and speak the word trick or the word treat while pointing it at a target within 90 feet. If the words trick was spoken, roll a d6 and consult the trick table. If the word treat was spoken, roll a d6 and consult the treat table below. Yes. The user is unaware of which result was cast unless immediately obvious. This wand regains 1d4 plus 1 expended charges daily at dawn and always fully recharges after a full moon.
So this is interesting because this trick or treat was actually made off of the random benefits and detriment tables. So Brandon, what's one that stands out to you? Either a trick or a treat. Which is it?
I'm looking at the tricks right now.
Well, which one has got you laughing so hard?
Well, the fact that anytime I
Like
am
that blind guy with the cockatrice.
anytime I'm DMing a game, there's always that one player who likes to drink. So there's number 2 on the trick table. The target is cursed for the next 24 hours. While under this curse, the target is charged twice as much for alcoholic beverages.
They gotta pay extra. You only charged that guy 1 copper. You look like trouble, feller. Ian, is there one that jumps out at you?
Well, the one I kind of laughed at was like, the target is blessed for the next 24 hours. While under this blessing, they smell great to members of the opposite sex.
That would be creepy as the dungeon master.
Yeah.
Walking up and pulling a Joe Biden on you.
Yeah.
You smell good.
But the sad part was, my very next one was, but he's gay.
that would be great.
What did Tate say?
Hi, honey. Nope. No, he said too late. He said that back when I said, hey, remember that Asian thing? Get rid of it.
Yeah, we're gonna. So we do need to discuss that at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we're going live, period.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't want any.
Rule 1, leave real politics out.
Yeah. So this is a pretty cool magic item. I really like it. Obviously, it's very Halloween themed. So include it as you want. This is a really great example of him using his own magical rules to generate an item, which I think is fantastic. So that'll do it for our magic item of the podcast, the Wand of Tricks and Treats. Our Dungeon Master tip of the podcast is interesting dungeon doors. This comes from @Beastlands on Twitter. Dungeon entrances do not always have to be a door or a small hole in a mountain. Sometimes it is a giant crevasse with its own ecosystem, with a narrow passageway that takes you deeper and deeper and deeper. Some other dungeon doors. So that's he makes a really great point. How often is the entrance to a dungeon either a door or a cave?
A lot.
A lot, and probably far too often, honestly, if you ask me. Brandon, what are some examples of some dungeon doors you could use instead of a door or a cave entrance?
That's like we could do the open maw of a long dead giant dragon.
Ooh, that's really cool. Have its maw wide open and teeth cracked and everything like that, and maybe even call it like the dragon's maw or something.
Or it could be like a shifting tile puzzle.
Oh yeah, like they got a big giant stone blocks they have to slide in to open the door. That's cool. That's actually pretty cool. Instead of it just being a door, it's a sliding puzzle that they got to solve to make way. Like it's just one little square on its own, and you got to move everything around to create enough to crawl through. I like that.
Yeah.
Something that comes to mind to me is a portal at the bottom of the well, where the entrance is just a portal. I was watching Inuyasha, and I was like, that's a cool door. Let's go with that.
Or it could be a a sliding chair in the floor. It's an outhouse.
You know, I'm starting
no
to
one would
think
expect that.
Ian has an obsession with outhouses.
Just the one.
Another one is you could really enhance some of either the dungeon door or the cave. Like a cave is easily enhanced by a waterfall, right? Putting the cave behind a waterfall makes it really interesting, and then you can toss like poisonous or killer fish, man-eating fish in the basin right below it.
And now I'm nothing but Invader Zim, where he goes into his like hidden base by sitting inside a toilet and flushing himself down.
I have not. I've got to really sit down and watch that. So.
I got the box set.
It's a great show.
Well, maybe we'll have you guys come over and we'll sit and watch on TV and do some shit.
I would be okay with
I've,
that.
I've found Bloody Gurr twice. I haven't seen him in any of the other episodes.
Okay.
That's an Easter egg.
That'll do it. Do you guys have any other comments for this?
There's options.
Yeah, actually, the first part of first part of it reminds me of what was that game? Shadow of the Colossus.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Because every Colossus you fight, there's no obvious entrance to the dungeon that you're going into.
No.
Can you give us an example?
I remember going twisting through mountains and stuff and just ended up in this giant cave. There was no particular entrance. I just walked in and then I'm looking around. It's like, okay, maybe there's items in here or something. And next thing I know, I go through this small crack in the wall. I'm in this giant ass room. I go, well, fuck me. I know where I'm at.
That's very cool. That sounds similar to what I had you guys do when you guys were going to the mountains recently to the the giant the fortress.
Oh, out in the snow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You climbed through this crevice.
Spiders.
So that'll do it for our Dungeon Master tip. Interesting dungeon doors. Our player tip of the podcast is
Don't be a dick.
And you can avoid dickitude by listening to Vox Fanato on Twitter.
Basically, ask the GM, are you having fun? You have no game without their hard work, and they should be enjoying it too. And if you get any answer other than an immediate resounding yes, ask them, how can you help to make the game more fun for them? Because, let's face it, DMs, they put in a lot of efforts into games, and it's often unappreciated. Because most players don't realize all the time that goes into it.
Yeah, you're very right.
And when the guy runs the game who's not having fun, no one has fun.
That's true.
Yeah. So, Justin, are you having fun?
You know what, Ian? I do. I have a lot of fun. You guys do a really great job and entertain me very much.
Even if we clipboard you.
If I had one critique, it would actually be at Matt. Matt, I hope you're listening to this. I'm going to talk to you about it when we have another game. When we're on a tangent and you don't like it,
Oh, well.
oh well. Like, he gets flustered. Can we get back to it? And I'm having fun, so tough shit. What about you?
And I like it when we clipboard our way through.
Yeah, that was, and I think that comes down to DM style, because I don't know that a lot of DMs would let that slide.
To be fair, I did roll good for bluff.
Yeah, you did. And they were ogres, so that didn't hurt your chances.
No.
It's like, hey, DM, are you having fun? I will next session if your character keeps talking smack.
It's fantastic. Yes, this is something that's very subtle but very important. DMing almost is always a thankless job, but I get fun out of it by enjoying the players having fun. And that's why I do it. I love the stories they tell. Even Ian's shenanigans that pisses me off on occasion is still a lot of fun.
I'm still apologizing for that rogue.
You know what? I don't expect you to. You're never getting a lightsaber again.
What?
I gave him a lightsaber and he fucked
He put it
everything
away.
up.
Why would you do that?
Well, I didn't think it was a big deal until I realized all the monsters were undead that he was fighting and made it way worse.
Oh, okay.
And my character was a rogue on top of that?
Yeah, swashbuckler.
Yeah.
Fuckers.
Just as you slice through, it was like.
And so basically, I was backstabbing enemies with radiant damage.
Yeah, it was pretty horrible, which is like double damage to zombies. So, anyway, so it's really important. Ask your GM if they're having fun. Vox Finata, this is an awesome tip. Thank you so much. That'll do it for our player tip of the podcast. Don't be a dick. And did you go?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. And you can avoid dickitude by asking your dungeon master if they're having fun. Please do. I can't believe that I actually put in italicized. I don't remember doing this. I don't think a player has ever asked how they can make the game more fun for me. Ever. Even yet. And it's on the page.
When that's my entire life as a DM.
Yeah.
No
By choice,
one cares. Forever alone.
I'm going to fucking run you over. All right. That'll do it for our show today. Before we close out, we have another gift to give away. Compliments of Jeff Stevens. I sure hope this is the right audio. I should probably unmute it.
I am still getting likes for this comment days later.
Yeah.
Talking about like stupid things that party members did to your character's corpse when you died.
It's been a long few days of travel,
I was like,
and
well,
the
at least
adventurers are tired of eating rations
Your
and
guy
sleeping on
didn't
the
get his
ground.
corpse stuffed
That's the wrong one.
and sold to a cigar shop.
There we go. I found it.
A small village, empty of villagers except for one boy, found sitting and weeping next to a jester's pageant wagon. The boy explains that the villagers, including his family, followed a jester into the wagon and never came out. What madness could the adventurers face? Can they save the villagers? Or will they go mad trying? Can you survive the madhouse of Tasha's kiss?
Ian, who's our winner today?
Our win today is Dave Cab 2000.
Dave Cab.
Dave Cab.
Congratulations to Dave Cab 2000. If you enjoyed the adventure, please let Jeff Stevens know. Leave him a review and tell him what you thought of it.
We like reviews,
So,
especially when they actually say why they get rated what they did.
right. Please join us on our next episode. We will be discussing Wombo's Guide to Combos from our boys over at the D&D Character Lab.
Wombo
They-
combo.
They actually made a product that is ways to combine actions and execute awesome combinations. So I'm excited to cover that. If you have any feedback on our tips and tricks or topics you would like us to discuss, how can they send that to us there, Brandon?
They can email us and other stuff. If you have any, sorry, I'm looking at our store. If you have any feedback on our tips and tricks or topics you would like us to discuss, please send them to us. You can email them to us at critacademy@gmail.com or find us on Twitter and Facebook at Crit Academy.
Yeah, find us on YouTube now. Go on YouTube and Google Crit Academy and follow us. If you subscribe to us on YouTube, you will. If we hit 1,000 likes, I will give away one of these awesome banner things. Also follow us on Twitch. Actually, let's say we'll give away a prize at 1,000 Twitch followers or YouTube subscribers, whichever we hit first, and we'll give away one of these.
Anyway, hope you enjoyed your experience here at Crit Academy. And if you did, you can help others find the show by leaving a, hopefully, 5-star review on your platform of choice. Or you can just send a message telling us how much you enjoyed the show. And please, be sure to give us a like and a share.
Definitely do that. If you'd like to support our show, you can head on over to patreon.com. For as little as $1 a month, you can help our show get better. Every dollar goes to help improving our show. There are lots of cool fat loots now. Like I said, I've just went through and done a whole lot of changes. I'll give you a brief summary over some of those changes right now. Our copper level patrons now get to join our monthly game, our monthly hangout session, and our silver now get to join our monthly game and also get to help playtest any upcoming content. And our gold standard, which is tier $10 tier, is now Loot the Room. Every single month, they will get a special one-page adventure that actually I've already have several written.
Neat.
That is part of that price. In addition, while you're at the $10 tier, you will receive any products we release on Dmsguild free. So definitely check that out. Of course, you get all the previous stuff too, which is our access to our Discord and all that stuff. So that's definitely a good way to support us. You can head on over to Twitch, and there's a merchant tab there. Follow us there and click that, or go to our website and buy stuff from there. That's cool too. All that stuff helps us. Please do that. We really want to get this Twitch following thing work, so please follow us on Twitch and YouTube. So I think that about covers almost everything. Brandon, are you still taking commissions? Should I take that off there?
I still am, yes.
Okay, so as long as you're paying him, he'll do it, but he won't do anything free anymore.
Yeah, that's right.
Never mind. I spent like 12 hours on this shit a week.
Anywho,
I'm just giving you a hard time.
You son of a bitch.
I'm just more annoyed that you couldn't cut out a circle after just bitching about how easy it is. So thank you for that. I had to pay somebody.
You know what? I am going to fill our store with shit now. Just so
Challenge accepted.
Just so I can be like, bitch, look what I got.
Can you do me a favor?
No.
Can you make something limited edition?
Limited edition.
When we go live, I want to put something up that'll only be live for the first 2 or 3 shows, and then we'll never sell it again. So come up with something fucking bitchin'.
like a tie.
Well, I was thinking of maybe commissioning somebody to draw 3 pictures of us like the Pet Boys and put it on a shirt.
The Pet Boys.
Well, like the Pet Boys, they're all next to each other.
Yeah,
kind of like that over
know.
there for
I
Free Beer
know
Hot Wings.
what it is.
So, anyways, so make sure to subscribe to our show at critacademy.com. If you do,
Justin's soul.
you know what? Alicia already stole that, so I don't really have. I traded it for somebody to take care of finances. It's weird. So make sure to subscribe to our Make sure to subscribe to our show at critacademy.com so we can help you on your future adventures, as well as be entered to win cool prizes each and every week. Like I said, also follow us on Twitch and YouTube. Anybody that follows us on those will also be entered to win, so do that. You'll also find links to our fellowship members there as well. Check out Gabe and Jeff's Inter-Party Conflict. Those guys every week do a great job of answering your questions and help bring you the best tabletop experience possible. Also check out D&D Character Lab. Every week they build amazing characters. And hey, if you keep an eye out, you might hear some of our stuff on there soon. Those guys do an amazing job. And, of course, check out Brute Force and Ignorance, an actual play. Those guys are hilarious. They really knock it out of the park. So check it out. That'll do it for our show. I'm your host, Justin.
I'm your co-host, Brandon.
I'm your co-host, Dan. Thanks for listening.
Keep your blades sharp and spells prepared, heroes.
And Tate says that wasn't your soul, it was your balls.
That's where my soul was retained.